Hey, welcome to Half the Battle. You know, it seems like a long time since we've done a regular episode. Well, that couldn't be helped. Life and Comic-Cons got in the way, but we're back now.
I kinda screwed up my last comic review, as it had a panel showing the Baroness had been relieved of her command in New York because of stuff that happened in the Special Mission series. So I really should have reviewed that issue first.
So to make up for that, let's do that right now.
Today, we're taking a look at Special Missions Issue 7, The Old Switcheroo. The cover shows Chuckles, Lady J, and somebody hang gliding towards the Cobra Consulate building in New York City. Not gonna lie, that is a promising cover. The opening page sees our heroes approach the consulate in a pest control and security van. Okay, Cerberus makes sense, the dog that guards the entrance to the underworld, but penultimate? That means it's second to last. Yes, I know most people use that term to mean second best, but either way it's a weird name for a pest control firm.
It's too early to go on a tangent, let's move on.
They say it was smart of them to hijack the truck from the actual pest control Cobra uses.
Hijack?
And comment that Juan and Evita always have good ideas.
Juan and Evita?
Wait a minute, these must be the Joe's Mexican non-union equivalents. No, they're counter-revolutionaries from South America, but when I first read this comic, honestly, I legit thought they were the Joes for the first 1.5 pages.
Well played, Hama, well played.
With the pest van going to the basement, the security truck crashes through the front door, causing quite a ruckus. The group takes out the lobby security and heads to the basement where they meet up with the second group.
So, how does Cobra react?
Well, on the top floor command center, the Baroness is less than thrilled with events, finding out they are from Sierra Gordo, a Banana Republic Cobra has sold terror drones to. She's gonna personally take charge while Zorana is content to sit back. Meanwhile, the intruders are drilling holes and filling them with C4 explosives and are hacking into the closed-circuit camera system. It turns out the counter-revolutionaries are college students who want to take the revolution over from the peasants who they consider too dumb to rule themselves. And they'll blow up the building if Cobra doesn't stop supporting those guys. The Baroness laments they're being blackmailed by radical yuppie terrorists.
Which is extremely funny.
Because if you know her backstory, then you know that's pretty much how she started herself. Mindbender confirms the way they place the explosives will bring the building down, so they have the means. But do they have the will?
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room.
This story is about terrorists attempting to collapse a huge building in New York City.
Yeah, that's a tad uncomfortable.
But hey, at least this building is full of nothing but terrorists, so silver lining? Anyway, the Baroness makes like E.T. and phones home to get Serpentor's opinion on all this fun, and he promptly tells her he's got his own crap to deal with, she's in charge, so if she can't handle it, he'll find somebody else, to the delight of Zorana.
Remembering that this comic is called G.I.Joe Special Missions,
it switches to a few Joes across the street who are watching the whole thing. We've got Chuckles, Dial Tone, Lady J, and Psych Out.
Okay, this confuses the timeline a bit.
Psych Out is introduced in the regular comic in issue 64, the one we looked at last time, and the events in that issue come after this one. Both issue 64 and this one came out in October of 1987, but chronologically this one comes first. So how can Psych Out, and Chuckles for that matter, already be here?
Well, I do have one explanation, sort of.
Chuckles had already been made a Joe by Hawk many issues ago, so maybe the same happened with Psych Out, and this was a mission they got before meeting up with the majority of the Joe team, which they do in issue 64. Except Lady J is there, and she didn't travel with them to the pit, since she's shown to already be there. I'm gonna chalk this up to it being difficult to coordinate between two issues from two different series at once. I guess the writer should have communicated better.
Yeah, Larry Hama really should have talked with, Larry Hama more.
Anyway, Dial Tone is listening in on the Baroness's woes, and Psych Out predicts she'll react exactly as he has, predicted. Meaning the Joes aren't just there to spy, but are involved. And she reacts by not bothering to negotiate, but sending in a bunch of Vipers, who promptly get mowed down in typical Cobra fashion. The terrorists don't take kindly to this turn of events and give Cobra a taste by blowing up the van in the lobby. A van that wasn't checked because the Baroness thought it was empty.
Okay, that's definitely an error on her part.
This convinces her to evacuate the building, though Zarana thinks they're bluffing, leading to a heated exchange. At least I don't think with my...
Okay, what's the end of that insult?
In this context, I mean. In any other context, it would be Dick, but here? Since the Baroness's, whatever, is still in charge here, the evacuation is ordered. So, with the exception of the Baroness, Mindbender, Zarana, and some meat shields, everybody GTFOs. This is the cue for the Joes to spring into action by having Breaker and Tunnel Rat cut the power to the building, something the two factions inside conveniently blame each other for. The others use generic hang gliders to get to Cobra's roof.
This puzzles me a bit.
The Joes have actual gliders, the Falcons, so why not use those here? Sure, that toy wasn't sold by 1987, but neither was the Baroness, and she sure as hell sticks around. Things are going swimmingly inside as Evita really wants to blow up the building, while Yuan really doesn't, leading to a physical fight. The Baroness and Zarana are also fighting, though just verbally for the moment. With all this distraction, Dialtone can plant a bugging device on the roof, the whole reason they went there, so now they need to get out of there too. They restore power, and Lady J impersonates the Baroness, basically telling the terrorists they're a bunch of wusses who don't have the balls to blow up the place. Evita very much has the balls and presses the detonator.
Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Instead of a big bang, the devices release a whole bunch of riot gas, blinding everybody inside, meaning the Joes can just casually walk out. And yeah, Chuckles, they can't see you, but they sure as hell could still hear you, so maybe not gloat as you walk past them. And this whole thing worked because Psych-Out could accurately predict how everybody would react, while Chuckles fed the terrorists the plan and sold them the C4 explosives that were actually gas-filled. And that was the old Switcheroo.
Overall, it was a pretty good story.
The only thing I didn't like was the cliché that when two women are together, a cat fight happens. And the G.I.Joe comic uses this cliché way too much. It was nice to see another faction apart from the Joes being pissed at Cobra and trying to do something about it, though they're not exactly good guys either. This was also a good use of Chuckles and Psych-Out, though their actions are described in dialogue rather than with pictures. We never see Chuckles deal with the terrorists, not even in a flashback, nor do we see Psych-Out come up with his evaluations of the people involved.
I would have liked to have seen a bit more show, don't tell.
But like I said, overall, a good issue, and we finally know why the Baroness was sent packing back to Cobra Island just in time to start plotting with not Cobra Commander. One thing I noticed about special missions is some issues are complete standalones, but others, like this one, affect the plot of the main series, making this comic, which is an ad for toys, also an ad for another comic series, which is also an ad for toys.
This is like Inception levels of marketing. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?
She's so